Good morning, YouTube. Sorry I've been gone for a while, just been kind of not focused on this, just kind of been dealing with a few personal issues, but I figured I'd try to make a quick video today. Today I'm just going to talk about choosing a gun, why to carry a gun, and why I personally carry a gun, both on and off duty. Starting off with choosing a gun. Choosing a gun is something that's either relatively easy or monumentally difficult for people. You either already know and you've just fanboyed over some sort of gun before you even go and buy your first gun, either because of video games or pop culture or whatever, or you have no idea what kind of gun you want, but you know that you want a gun. So you research it and research it and research it. Watch different videos on caliber, different videos on manufacturers, and different videos about various types of ammunition, different types of weapons. But for this video, I'm going to stick with handguns. Now, in my security company that I work for, you are allowed to carry basically whatever kind of handgun you want, as long as it falls into the legal requirements of it's a semi-automatic, a magazine fed, and it's either a 9mm, a 40 caliber, or a 45 caliber. I don't know why it is that way. That's just the way that my city's laws and the commissioning board set it up. Those are the only 3 calibers of handgun that they will let you carry. I personally, when I first started with the company, I was carrying a M&P 40, but as time progressed and I shot it more and more, I realized that, hey, this isn't really the gun for me. It's a little small, the trigger's a little awkward, and the 40 caliber is kind of a aggressive round, and it's a little hard for me to control it. I could shoot it, but it was hard for me to control. My shot consistency wasn't quite there. So while I was working for the company, I researched various other handgun manufacturers. I was looking around and I found a company called SIG. I'd heard of SIG before. Sorry about that, I thought someone was knocking on my car. Anywho, I found out about SIG and kind of did some research into them. Found out that they have quite the reputation for making handguns, as well as some carbine rifles and shit. So I got looking into them, and my first SIG was a SIG Pro 2022, and I loved it. It was a fun handgun, 9mm. Really, it was a full size, but at the same time, it was designed in a way that made it really easy to conceal carry it. I mean, once I got my inside the waistband holster, that thing just disappeared when I wore it. It still is one of my favorite handguns I own. I've only owned like 3 or 4 different handguns, but the SIG Pro 22 is probably one of my favorites. It handled reliably, it was smooth, easy to shoot, had a nice front weight to it, which made snapping it back to the target after you pulled the trigger real easily. And with the 15-round magazine, it had an okay capacity, nothing to brag about, but 15 shots is fairly standard for handguns nowadays. I eventually sold my M&P 40 and started carrying my SIG Pro 2022 as my duty weapon, and I definitely appreciate the SIG. It's been a reliable and trusty handgun. I will always cherish the relationship I've shared with that SIG. But recently I have switched my duty pistol from the SIG Pro to the SIG 226, More specifically, the SIG 226 Mark 25. And I know what you're thinking. Yes, that is the Navy SEAL handgun. No, I don't carry it because I want to be a Navy SEAL. Although, don't get me wrong, I would love to be a Navy SEAL. I just don't have it in me to do that. I carry it because it's reliable, it's comfortable to shoot, and it's a very good gun. I mean, I cannot sing the praises of the 226 enough. I understand why it was such an expensive gun. I shoot it so reliably, the trigger is so consistent and so smooth that if you don't shoot this gun very well, it's user error. It's nothing to do with the gun. Some guns, a standard shooter with very minimal instructions won't really be able to shoot it that well because either quality or it's a defective, something in the gun is defective. But the way the SIG was built, it is consistent beyond what I could ask for. It is a amazingly reliable handgun, and you will probably hear me sing the praises of SIG for videos to come. I absolutely adore SIG. They make some of the best handguns in the world, in my opinion. That doesn't mean I necessarily hate other handgun manufacturers or dislike other handguns. It just means for my tastes and what works for me, SIG is what works for me. I think that's all I got for this one, but okay, back to why I carry on and off duty. Forgot about that part, sorry guys. Anyway, I carry on and off duty because, one, I realized that even living in the Midwest, where crime is relatively low, that the potential for crime is still there. I know the crime rates where I live are a little lower than other parts of the world, but still, there's still crime. And sometimes it's very violent crime too, especially in the big city where I live. I don't live in the big city itself, but I work in the big city. And I work some of the really rough parts of that big city too. I work some of the places that have a lot of gang violence and just a lot of random violence. And in fact, my city's facing a real epidemic when it comes to drive-by shootings, as well as carjackings apparently, but that's a story for another day. I choose to carry on duty because I view this isn't a jab at security guards that choose to work unarmed or can't carry because of age or where they work. I just personally believe that working as an armed officer, security agent, I believe that's really the only way you can actually provide security. I feel that unarmed security, even if you have a taser, they're more just a glorified babysitting service, and most security in general is just a glorified babysitting service for adults. But if you're actually going to provide security, you have to be able to protect your clients from imminent threats and not just call the cops and hope they get there in time. That's why I choose to carry on duty. I choose to carry off duty because I realize, hey, I could probably make some people very mad at me from my job, and they might choose to retaliate for my actions at work while I'm off duty. So I carry off duty, and I am very vigilant even off duty. I watch people, I check for body language, I check for hostile movement and aggressive movement, especially when they get inside what's known as the golden area, the 21-foot rule, which is where a knife within 21 feet is considered just as dangerous as a handgun. And I watch for people to get that close to me because I don't know what their intentions are. I, for the most part, assume that most people have good in their hearts, but you have to watch for the people that don't have good in their hearts. I think that'll do it for this video, though. I'm pretty sure I covered all topics I said I was going to cover. I promise I'll get better at this. I'm still just, right now this is just for fun, kind of tell you guys my own unique experiences and shit, but I promise as time goes on it will get better, because I will actually have notes and have formulated discussions. This is kind of just a quickie. I know it's actually longer than almost all my other videos. I think it's longer than all my videos, actually, but this was just kind of a quick topic that was on my mind all night while I was at work, and so I decided to kind of get it out of my head, talk to you guys. I think I've rambled enough now, so bye.